Look at the weather.
It's beautiful here.
Non-stop rain.
Oh, man, it is a blazer out there.
It's cold and it's shivery.
It is cold.
Really coming down here.
I really enjoy your weather reports.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we're talking weather in a whole new way. From historical events to what's coming up, plus weather news, science, safety, fun facts, and more.
I like where this is going.
This is Weather Weekly. Weather Weekly with Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey.
Episode 197 of Weather Weekly. Good to be with you, meteorologist Marcus Bailey. Hopefully you have had a beautiful, the weather certainly cooperated. Man, it was nice. Hopefully you're able to get out and enjoy. Those of you that have kids, hopefully you enjoyed a little fall break time with your kiddos. I know some fall breaks are still continuing or maybe even starting. This week mine is over, so I enjoyed a nice week off, just hanging out, a little staycation with the kiddos. We had a good time, played outside a lot. It was good. So hopefully you got out and enjoyed that. The weekend, this past weekend, was lovely. Boy, do we have some big changes coming our way, but fear not. I still think we're going to be in a pretty nice weather pattern here over the next several days. This is going to feel a little more like October than what we've experienced over the last couple of weeks. We'll talk about the cool down and maybe the potential for some frost coming up. That's in the week ahead. It is for October 14th, 2024. That's next on Weather Weekly. All right, let's start with October 14th, which actually is a federal holiday. It is Columbus Day, so some people are off of work to kick things off for the week. But with a cold front that was kind of scooting through during the weekend, didn't really bring much in terms of moisture, unfortunately, because we sure could have used the rain. Now, much cooler Canadian air settling in. So for your Columbus Day, I'm going to go partly cloudy skies. And it is going to be significantly cooler. And we're going to be about 10 degrees, 8 to 10 degrees below average for this time of year. I'm going to go highs in the upper 50s for your Monday. And with the clouds around, there is also a slight chance for a shower. We'll have a reinforcing frontal boundary that's going to move through Monday night. I don't think you're going to get anything really measurable here as the drought, and we'll talk more about this. But the drought that we kind of alleviated with the remnants of Helene a few weekends ago, now starting to build back. So we're back into that dry pattern again. We'll have an overnight low of around 41. There could be a few areas that slip into the upper 40s, but I think the clouds should keep the real chill at bay, at least for now. Now that's going to change through the midweek. Tuesday, mostly sunny. It's going to be cool, but still a nice day. Highs into the mid-50s. Now, where we have to worry about maybe some frost formation, and I'm going to go patchy, not widespread. Tuesday night and Wednesday night specifically are going to be kind of the cooler nights. Thursday too, but really Wednesday night I think we probably have the best chance for widespread frost, okay? So Tuesday night we'll go partly cloudy, lows into the upper 30s, but mid-30s probably in outlying areas, should be plenty cold enough for some frost formation. Wednesday, quiet, sunny, cool, a high of 57, an overnight low of 36. So that would be cold enough in Indianapolis for some frost. Probably some outlying areas could dip below freezing. Okay, so it could be the first freeze of the season for some areas, especially up north. Thursday, we'll see a bit of a rebound. We'll get some sunshine. It's going to be cool, but not as chilly as the past couple of days, a high of 63. And then we'll really warm things up. So this is kind of a brief stint, but again, it goes back to kind of the ebbs and flows of going back and forth between warm and cold in the month of October. Friday, we got sunshine, a high of 69, an overnight low of 43. Saturday, then 72. Overnight lows will probably rebound back to the mid and upper 40s. And Sunday, I've got us into the mid 70s as well. So it is going to be a very mild weekend next weekend. Okay, so not done with the warmth just yet, but you know those days are numbered, as they typically are when you get into the latter portions of October, and we start scooting through into early November. Still a little too early to tell exactly what we're looking at for Halloween. I know we've brought on this podcast up enough, what we've had over Halloween before. In terms of, it's been very nice, but we've also had some Halloweens. I think last Halloween, was pretty chilly. I know my kids were complaining about it. But we've had some that have been fairly decent. Still a little too early to tell. It does look like when you want to go to the extended, I'm just looking at the GFS model, pardon me, in particular. It does look like there might be a little bit of a stint starting on the 27th of another cold surge that could bring our temperatures with highs only around 50. Now, again, that's a long way off. That may fluctuate and modify and all that stuff. So don't take that to heart just yet. We're still, we're just now halfway through the month of October. So we still got a little bit of time to see how everything kind of plays out. But just keep that in the back of your mind if you're a parent. You're looking at trick-or-treating. Recent memory, it's been about 50-50 where we've had some very comfortable ones to some really chilly ones. And there's been a couple of them I know, at least in my kids' lifetimes. My oldest is 12. There's been a couple where we've had to dodge like sleet pellets or some even some snow showers. So definitely possible. We'll keep an eye on it for you. All right. We'll talk the drought situation and we'll get that 8 to 14 day outlook a little bit more in detail as well. All right. That's coming up next here on Weather Week. All right, let's get some stats here as we are marking almost halfway through the month of October. Precipitation has not been great. For the month, we've only measured up to a trace in Indianapolis, so we are down about 1.25 inches. Last year at this time, we had about 3/4 of an inch. Since September, 1.52, we are down 2.83. Last year at this time, we were at 2.38, and that is for the fall season for the year 34.28. That is down about 1 inch from average for this time of year. And like we said, there's really not a lot of hope in terms of rainfall, at least over the next 7 days. The drought monitor from last Thursday did kind of add back the moderate drought, basically for the northern third of the state. Now, Marion County, also Hamilton County and Boone, not included in, I guess parts of Marion County isn't, but the northern half specifically, is in no abnormally dry state or drought state or anything like that. You have a little donut hole kind of in those northern metro counties. Really, the rest of the state, though, then is stated as abnormally dry. The outlook, though, again, and we mentioned this last week, is that the drought is either going to persist or continue. Where we may get a little bit of relief is in southern Indiana. However, again, the 8 to 14 day outlook, above average temperatures. Now, this goes through the 20th to the 26th, and this may go along the lines of when I was talking about looking at Halloween, and there was going to be maybe slightly cooler temperatures. At least one model was predicting that. That would lead you to believe that we're going to get several cold fronts that are going to come through here, and that could give you a few opportunities for rain. When will that happen? It's tough to gauge in that 8 to 14 day outlook. Again, this is the dates of the 20th to the 26th. But there are some signs that we may actually see. It's not a strong signal, but it is a signal of above average precipitation. So there is a little bit of hope there that we could alleviate some of the drought stress. I know that we're heavy duty into harvest time, kind of on the back end of that for many of the farmers. So they appreciate the dry days. But those of you that are allergy sufferers, kicking up all that stuff has been rough. I know I am a autumn allergy sufferer, have been ever since I've lived in Indiana. So a little bit of rain would help to kind of alleviate that. What would actually help it much more so is a good hard freeze. Not going to get that this week, but maybe by the end of the month we get to get that. And that would be close to kind of our average dates for average freeze for this time of year. All right. Still a little too early for the November outlook. We'll keep an eye on that. The experimental 3 and 4 week outlook, so this would be the 26th through November 8th, does show an above average trend for temperatures and no strong signal either way for above or below average precipitation there. That would take us to the beginning of the month of November. That'll do it for this week's podcast. Thanks for checking it out. Always appreciate your time and your feedback, too. You can shoot me an email, marcus.bailey@wishtv.com. You can also reach me on social media. Marcus Bailey Weather is what you search for on Facebook, and at Marcus Bailey on X and Instagram. You can also get our forecast 24 hours a day on our website, wishtv.com/weather, as well as our free Storm Track 8 weather app, although I believe you still need to search for Wish TV Weather, not Storm Track 8 weather. And that will bring you the top result of our specific weather app here at Wish TV. And while you're here, make sure to check out all the other great podcasts, all part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you soon.
Discover more from Storm Track 8 Weather and Wish TV. Online at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Plus, be sure to check out more great podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.